cherish all the time you spend, you tuned in to. It's time again to cherish all the time you spend, you tuned in to. It's the number one podcast. The topics of discussion when we broadcast. So all them artificial man jokes, we do it natural from the concrete to a public standpoint. Real, wherever you're from, life is coexistence, but to know the real, you just gotta listen. Wherever you're from, life is coexistence, but to know the real, you just gotta listen.
What's up, everybody, and welcome to the 52 Scott Podcast. I'm your host, K Money, and in the building with me, my co-host, Freddie G, Slash, and Comedian 96. Collectively, we are the Mind of Men. And you can find us on Twitter at 52 Scott Podcast, Instagram and Facebook, the 52 Scott Podcast. And if you're on YouTube, please don't forget to like and or subscribe. Welcome back, fellas, to another episode of True Tuesday. Today, man, I thought we talk about a case that has made national news, and that's the death of Tyree Nichols. I don't know if you guys remember, but let's go back in January 7th. This young man was pulled over by 5 police officers and was pretty much beaten to death.
Yeah.
Just to recap and bring you up to date, well, these 5 officers have finally have been indicted for this horrific crime.
Yeah.
Man, and rightfully so. I honestly think this should have happened a long time ago, but finally they've been indicted, and hopefully, the trial will of course happen, and justice will be served. But how do you guys feel, and what do you think the penalty possibly should be for these officers that were involved in this beating? If you guys can remember the story.
Man, they should definitely get some prison time. You know, I would say starting at 25 years.
Just to bring a little bit more back on the story. I think it had something to do with the female.
Right. The girlfriend of one of the police officers.
Yeah. So, do you think this...
that's more premeditated now.
Well, it's definitely premeditated. But that definitely should be considered in regards to the, punishment phase.
I agree. Yeah.
Because like you said, this was something that was thought about.
You thought about doing this, and you caught him, and you knew where he was going to be at a certain time.
Right, and unfortunately, you brought 4 other guys to join you in this fuckery.
Yeah.
Which is what I think it was.
And they probably didn't even know what was going on.
Fuck your life and your career's up now.
This is just my personal opinion on what should happen. Anybody that's in law enforcement, to me, anybody in law enforcement, and I'm a pretty fair person all the way around, right? I don't care, civilian or law enforcement. Law enforcement, if you kill somebody while you in the line of duty, and just as you said, it was more premeditated, right? Yeah. You are the authority. So when we go to court, the law is already on your side as soon as we walk in because you got the uniform on. So your badge or your gun don't give you the authority to punch or hit or even shoot me. But at the same time, if you do shoot me and you just totally in the wrong, like this situation, I think you should get death. No ifs, ands, or bad. And I think it should be an expedited death sentence.
Let me give you the reason they were indicted and the names. Tadarius Bean, Demetrius Haley, Justin Smith, Emmett Martin III, and Desmond Mills Jr. Were the officers involved, and again, they were indicted on charges relating to deprivation of rights under color of law, including excessive force and failure to intervene, as well as deliberate indifference and conspiracy to witness tampering, according to court records. So, they definitely took the law in their own hands, man, in this situation, which is unfortunate. And the sad part about it is they were all black, which is what I hate to see.
That's the worst part of it.
That's the worst part of it. And I mean, sorry to say, black or white doesn't matter. I just think you should go to you have you know better. You go to classes, you go to training, you go to boot camp, you do all this, and you have a gun, and it's 5 of y'all. I'm not understanding.
But you have to know, man, with all this police violence and killing that's going on, that these guys, they're going to make an example out of them. You know, something definitely is going to be done to them, but, you know, you got to look and think about all these other police killings that have occurred.
Right.
Yeah.
So many of them.
Yeah, I'm surprised, like I say, that this took as long as it did for these guys to get indicted.
Right.
Yeah.
Because I just knew very well that an example would be made and will be made for the killing of 29-year-old Nichols.
Yeah, I mean,
that was a horrible way to go out, you know, and for them to pull him over the way they did, it was kind of, you know, that was wild. Beat him just, you know.
Yeah, he died 3 days after after the incident originally occurred. So, you know, he was pulled over on the 7th, and on the 10th, you know, he passed away from these beatings.
Wow.
Man, you go back to when we were younger and we did our dirt. You know, we got, you know, beat the hell up, sat in grass and ants' beds. You know, that was their favorite. Back when I was younger, they loved to sit you in the ants' bed. You know what I'm saying? And tell you don't move. It was wrong back then still, but we here to talk about it. We're not dead, but back then, I mean, it's different. The times have totally changed. It's like they just gotten more fierce, so to speak. You know what I mean?
Yeah. Well, man, y'all do know that. Okay. So these most recent charges, they're actually federal charges. So these federal charges, you know, they each are charged with 1 count of excessive force.
Yeah.
And deliberate indifference, and 2 counts of witness tampering. That's on the federal side. That's what they were most recently indicted for, right? They were already charged in criminal court on the state side in Shelby County
Okay.
of 2nd-degree murder, aggravated assault, and 2 counts of aggravated kidnapping, 2 counts of official misconduct, and official oppression. So we're talking 2 different courts.
Yeah.
You have a state court and a federal court.
Yeah.
So as far as what they should get and how they should get or whatever, all I would ask is that they get a fair trial in this country, right? They should have been held to a higher standard.
Right.
Yeah.
But the law is the law, so they broke the law.
Yeah, they broke it.
All they should get is a fair trial. Now, if the jurors are seeing what we saw, then they should get 2nd-degree murder,
Yeah.
aggravated assault.
Yeah.
They may get off on the 2 counts of aggravated kidnapping. I can't see that on the videotape that I saw. I can't see that part.
No.
2 counts of official misconduct and official oppression. I can see that. That's all that's on the state side. Now on the federal side, I can actually see the excessive force. I can see that.
Right.
So y'all should get that.
Yeah.
Deliberate indifference and 2 counts of witness tampering. I can actually see that because one of them on his body cam
You can hear
said
him. Right.
he tried to grab my gun. He tried to grab it in my waist. That's a lie.
Yeah.
I watched it my damn self.
It's just to support, their actions.
Right.
And surprisingly, and I'm sorry, Freddie.
No, you're fine.
These guys pleaded not guilty, man.
Well, let me say this with the not guilty part. All of that is formality and due process because you are innocent until proven guilty.
Right.
So you better not go in there and say I'm guilty.
Right.
You don't have a chance to fight it then.
You go and say I'm not guilty and let the courts do the due process. All that's formality. Everybody says not guilty.
Yeah.
Even if they caught you with blood on your hand, and you got
First time you go to jail, they tell you, just say not guilty.
You're not guilty. So
Keep it moving.
that's the process.
Well, man, you was mentioned earlier about hoping that these guys at least get a fair trial, and then again, I feel that just because this is a hot topic as far as police, the police killings in America goes, they will get a fair trial, but again, I just don't see. I see an example being made out of them. This is okay. Y'all wanted us to take action on these police killings. Well, here you go. This is to kind of hush the citizens up and make it seem as if something is being done. Basically.
Something is being done. The thing is, what makes it kind of slippery, for lack of better words, is that they're black.
Yeah,
Exactly.
Is that they're black.
So they not in no hurry.
Something is being done.
Yeah.
It ain't let's hurry up and do it to make it seem like something. Nah,
Right.
something being done.
Unfortunately, they just all.
It's just unfortunate that they are black.
Yeah, I feel that.
Gotcha.
And they should get in all fairness, they should get a fair trial.
Yeah. I agree.
A fair trial.
I agree.
Now, if they get a fair trial, I can't see how they get off.
Right.
An unfair trial, on the flip side, it would be unfair to the parents of Tyree Nichols if they get off.
Right.
It appeared to be unfair. It'd be that's not fair to us.
That's unfair.
So let me ask you this, since you mentioned that, Freddie G, and that's a good question and point. So in the past, when something happened like this here, and let's go back to the Rodney King case, which involved white officers, and we know what happened when that case went to trial and what happened afterwards, right? The riots that happened in L.A. So let's say these guys do end up getting off and acquitted or whatnot. Do you think it will be the same or a similar result in regards to us reacting to this?
No. Want me to tell you why?
Yeah, please do.
Because of the racial component.
So because it's 5 black officers, you don't think the public was still
I don't think so.
tear Memphis?
I don't think so. I think that with the Rodney King and the George Floyd and any other, when you have that racial component, it's a little different.
Yeah.
It's a little different because, they should be held to a high standard, but remove the badge and guns, right? In the hood, niggas kill niggas every day.
Every day.
And ain't no uproar. Ain't nothing going on.
They don't rush to find them.
Ain't nobody tearing shit up. You understand what I'm saying?
Yeah.
And if these dudes get off, ain't no white folks fit to go out here and riot and tear shit up.
So here's
Now,
my
hold on.
Go ahead.
Now, had Tyree Nichols been a white guy, and these black officers did that to a white guy, then it'll be a little bit different.
Tables turn.
So the racial component is key.
I feel that.
What you were saying?
So let's switch it like you just switched it. Say if it's 5 white cops and that black guy.
We see that all the time.
I know that.
It's normal.
Shouldn't, like I said, they should be held at a higher standard. Shouldn't the race, what they call it? There's a name for it. The hate crime
profile.
The hate crime statue, because all these white cops, I've never seen the hate crime.
The hate crime has to be proven. It has to be proven.
Right.
Let me show you something.
Okay.
Had it happened, had a white cop killed a black person, and in the process of killing that black person, that white cop hurled out a lot of racial slurs. Then you can make the argument of a hate crime.
Right. Right.
Now, hate crime versus racial profiling. That's racial, and he was killed because the killing was racially motivated versus actually that hate that's going in.
Right.
So there is a difference. And so and again, this is my opinion. I think that there is a difference. But I don't think that the hate if you're not hurling out any racial and hate speech behind it.
It should be obvious, but like you said, it's the law,
of
right?
course,
The law.
Of course.
Yeah.
I mean, we're not stupid.
Yeah. Yeah.
We're not stupid, but this stuff got to be proven in court.
Got to be proven.
I
Yep.
think with the body cam footage that they have of this, I mean, we all saw it on the news, man, and I clearly can't see how these officers would be acquitted of any of these charges. To my,
They're not.
Yeah, I don't.
there's no way, and rightfully so. But I appreciate you answering my question in regards to, like I said, if this was if by chance they were to get acquitted, if the community would react the same way they would back like they did when Rodney King had his trial. Or
I don't think
I
so.
think-
I would be surprised.
I think the family would of Tyreek.
Man, they ain't caring about no sister,
You can
cousin,
only tell
uncles.
so much.
You ain't lying.
But the only other rage gonna come from that is the fact that it was cops and he wasn't a cop and they beat him like that. But like you say, the racial part plays a bigger role. So in this event, they not just in no big hurry to get nobody no time. We don't have to really, but because they officers, they just killed a black person.
Well,
per se,
Well, it's crazy that due process, man, and going through all of the channels. It may appear like they're not in a rush, but I just think that all of the process itself, just takes time. To
Takes
go
a
through.
while.
Because think about it, K Money. You said that this happened in January.
right.
Here we are in September.
Yeah.
That's only 8 months. They're indicted on both sides.
Right.
Yeah.
The feds
And state.
and the
state.
state.
Yeah.
And now, in order for you to even get an indictment on the Fed side, you got to go before the grand jury. In order before to go to the grand jury, you got to present what you got. You've taken the time to present what you have to the grand jury for the grand jury to come down with an indictment. So it's moving. It's only been 8 months.
Yeah.
It's moving.
Yeah, it is. When you look at it like that,
Yeah,
it
it's
sure
moving.
is, because it's not a year.
Yeah, it's moving.
No, but shit, I had actually forgotten about it. That's what made me think. I would have thought that given the obvious proof, which was the footage that's been shown on the news, that it would have happened a lot sooner.
You know what I think? I forgot about it too.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But you know what I think that contributes to that? I think that because it's becoming so common, it's happened so often.
So much.
often.
In addition to that, there's other news that's popping up with all these wildfires and earthquakes and global warming and all this stuff. It's just so much stuff happening.
Going on.
It's
Yeah.
easy to
So
forget about it.
Yeah.
that's what I'm thinking about. We went through a spurt 2019, 19 to 21, 19 to 21, where they just went live, just killing black folks in cops. So it's been 19 to 21. Out of all those killings, you may have heard a couple of them on the news, and it was way more killings. I feel like some of these are just getting swept up under the rug. That's what I feel like.
You said 1921.
2019 to 2021.
Okay.
That's when most of these
Police
killings. I mean, don't get me wrong, with some before and after, but most of it was when it really went crazy was around that time. Those were 3 to 4 years ago, and I know there were a lot.
That was pretty much Barack's term, right?
Yeah, so I know. Let me see, 19. Wait a minute, see.
Yeah.
I think it was. Yeah, so you got to think. There were a lot.
Yeah.
We may have only heard about 2 or 3, but it was way more. And I feel like, just like Freddie G said, with the earthquakes and the fires and everything, you forget about them. Yeah, you forget about them. And I feel like some of these cops are working. I bet if we did a check on a lot of these, I bet you some of them ain't nothing happened to them. They might got administrative discharge by 90 days and, a little slap on the wrist. I guarantee you, a lot of them still got their jobs.
Yeah, it happens.
Interesting.
Yeah.
Interesting. I don't know how right you may be where that's concerned, but that is interesting, especially when you don't hear about it any further. Right?
They feel like, let's sweep it under the rug. They'll forget about it.
We made noise when it happened.
Yeah, it's the equivalent of rich people that are able to go to court, keeping these stuff reset until they throw it out. It's the equivalent of that. Cops getting it, let's get more news. Let's kill somebody else so they'll forget about this one. Or let's do something else stupid. Let's have a fire. They'll forget all about that.
Yeah.
You know.
Man, in closing, like I said, I'm sure these 5 officers will get what's coming to them, and rightfully so. And, you know, my prayers are with the Nichols family again. You know, I hate that this had to happen, and I hate it involves, you know, all black individuals. I hate that it happened, period. But just the fact that, you know, it's all black is really what sets us back as a culture, especially when, you know, like you mentioned earlier, Freddie G, in the hood, niggas are killing niggas every day. You know, so for this to happen on the side of the 5 officers being law enforcement, it really makes us as a culture look a certain type of way, in my opinion. You know, like I said, we taking steps back, but again, I really hope that they get what's coming to them. We out, man. This concludes another True Tuesday episode, and be sure you tune in tomorrow for Women Wednesday with Freddie G. And don't forget to follow us on Twitter at 52 Scott Podcast, on Instagram and Facebook, the 52 Scott Podcast. And for all you YouTubers, don't forget to like and subscribe. And to all my 52 Scott faithfuls, it may be new to you, but if you heard it here, then you know it's true.